Oh, sorry. That's for a Democrat show.
Let me know when you're ready. Was an extremely great conservative commentator. We're tearing it up on Wednesday night. This is awesome. This will allow me to report. Well, this is Jersey Joe for the Reaver of Common Sense show. I'm on shrmedia.com.
Actually, I just totally screwed up. This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless. The Jersey Takeover is here, and we have expanded to 2 hours every Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you want to watch a broadcast, it's easy. It's easy. Just go to shrmedia.com. While you're there, you can also join the conversation. Jump in the chat room. Tell me what you think. Oh, happy 4th of July to everybody. Happy 4th of July. Sitting here and listening to fireworks go off. Not as not the normal amount of fireworks. You usually hear a lot more. Like and on our 4th of July, we got a nice present of North Korea successfully test firing an intercontinental ballistic missile. It's also been noted that they have probably 2 times the nuclear capability stockpile than we had previously thought. It's funny how for 8 years we had an administration that pretty much ignored them, appeased them, and lied to us. It doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me that we have Obama at the same time running around running around the country, chastising America, nationalism, everything that gave him a chance to be president. Everything that gave him a chance to screw this country up. But it's, when an article first saw, it was, it claimed North Korea, Carolina, shit. Okay there. North Korea claimed that it had successfully fired. It is now since been confirmed that they have fired. And, it is a watershed moment, and it's a push to develop a nuclear weapon capable of hitting the United States. U.S. experts said the device could reach Alaska, and the launch, which came as the United States prepares to mark its Independence Day, triggered a Twitter outburst from, you guessed it, U.S. President Donald Trump, who urged China to end this nonsense once and for all. Its possession of a working ICBM will force a recalculation of the strategic threat it poses. The landmark test of some weird name, missile was overseen by leader Kim Jong-un, and emotional female announcer said on state Korean Central TV. It reached an altitude of damn it. I think I slept too much. It reached an altitude of 2,802 kilometers and flew 933 kilometers, she added. The North was a strong nuclear power state and had a very powerful ICBM that can strike any place in the world, she said. There are still doubts whether the North can miniaturize a nuclear weapon sufficiently to fit it onto a missile nose cone, or whether it has mastered the technology needed for it to survive the difficult re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere. But the isolated, impoverished country has made great progress in its missile capability since the ascension to power of Kim, who has overseen 3 nuclear tests and multiple rocket launches. I know it is. I haven't had enough coffee today. It's putting us into a very, very difficult spot. I don't want to see another war started. But at the same time, we can't let this go unanswered. We can't. It's becoming a grave threat, not just to the United States, but we can't be leading it all the time. Because I know what will happen. All these countries will be backing us. We lead it. And then somebody will get a burr up their ass and have a negative opinion on it. And all of a sudden, all the support disappears because they don't want to have anything negative said about them. Oh, no. We don't want that. Freaking ridiculous. It's, I don't know. Yeah, it's, the United Nations has imposed multiple sets of sanctions on North Korea, which retorts that it needs nuclear arms to defend itself against the threat of invasion. Nobody has threatened to invade that damn country in a long time. Everybody knows that if we were to invade, it would start off a huge war with China. You know, and sorry, North Korea, you're not that important. You really aren't that important. It seems like it's that drunk little kid. Well, not kid. Young man, you know, that's immature, unsure of himself in the corner and thinks everybody is a threat to himself. So he goes around pushing everybody in the bar because someone's going to beat him up. So he's got to start. Well, that person usually gets the shit knocked out of him sooner or later. And that's what's going to happen with Korea. They're going to get invaded because of the rhetoric. It's going to be a preemptive strike. The unidentified missile was fired from a site in northern Korea, Pyongyang province. I know I'm butchering that. The South's Joint Chief of Staff said in a statement and came down in the EC, the Korean name for the Sea of Japan. U.S. Pacific Command confirmed the test and said it was a land-based intermediate range missile that flew for 37 minutes, adding the launch did not pose a threat to North America. It was estimated to have reached an altitude that greatly exceeded 2,500 kilometers. Japan said, prompting arms control specialist Jeffrey Lewis to respond on Twitter, "That's it. It's an ICBM. An ICBM can hit Anchorage, not San Francisco, but still." We're talking semantics at this point. It can hit the United States. It can hit our allies. This could set off a major war. Oh, it's just hearing pop, pop, pop. I'm waiting for the huge barrage to come any minute now. There we go. That was a small one, but bigger than what we've had. My daughter was here. I actually probably would have taken tonight off. And we were going up on the roof and sat up on the roof and watched from all different directions. But she's in the Poconos. She's having fun. It was funny. She called up and she's with my mother-in-law. And she's like, yeah, we lost Rara. And that's what she calls her grandfather. Mom's like, you know how to find him in a crowd. My daughter goes, yeah, just look for the bald spot. I was like, oh my God. She's got a quick and smart ass mouth, just like her mother. Not me. I'm very polite. I don't do anything like that. Has anybody noticed? Because I'm noticing right now, it seems the internet is pretty slow today. I've had some major lag all day. Major lag. So if there's some issues with the broadcast, my apologies. Let me know, and then I'll check into it and probably go tomorrow. What's today? Tuesday? Yeah, today's Tuesday. BZ is up next. Well, that'll be at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I love BZ. He's a great guy. I got to have him back on the show. Because I always forget just to ask people to come on. I know they would. Just, I usually end up forgetting. Or I don't want to impose and have them on too much, you know. And it's going to be hard now to have BZ because, well, he's going to be coming on directly after me. And I'm pretty sure he's not going to want to, do back-to-back like that. I'm sure of that. Trying to see if there's anything. I'm sure he's on tonight. It's Tuesday. But it being a holiday, I'm not 100%. I would bet if I was a betting man that BZ will be on right after. Trying to find some information real quick. Bum. It's been a kind of lazy day. Not even a lot, like news-wise. But it's been a nice, lazy day. I sat around and played a lot of video games. My wife sat there and read her books. It's been quiet. My daughter's not here. It's... All right, let's see. God, the changes that are coming to SHR Media, it's... And I hate to put it that way because it's coming on the heels of a good friend of ours went his way, his own path. And that's a great thing, but at the same time, and it kind of sucks that we lost. But on the other hand, it's allowed for a revamp and a total relisting. Yeah, it's BZ's Berserker Bobcat Saloon. And don't ask why I can never remember that. Too many B's. BZ's Berserker Bobcat Saloon. And that will be coming up right after my show at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 9 p.m. Pacific. Not specific. Pacific time. But like I said, I'm not sure if he's on tonight. Oh, we'll find out after the show. Taking a look at some stuff real quick. It's yeah. Democrats move to impeach Trump on mental health, and the people that are leading the charge, unstable, scariest people I've seen in a long time. It's live tonight. BZ will be on tonight, right after the show at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I love BZ shows. And I haven't found a show I don't like. I really haven't. Got the freaking sniffles today. I don't know why. Food stamp rolls plummet in states that restore work requirements. If you don't know what that is you have to volunteer for X amount of hours a week, basically work to get food stamps. And when that happens, a lot of people, oh, no, never mind. It's, people are getting very creative with the videos. It has the CNN emblem, just a red square with CNN, and posed over a guy like walking on an ice rink, just barely skating. And along comes this hockey player in a USA jersey with Trump's face superimposed, body checks it into the wall, and of course they'll say that's promoting violence. It's promoting violence. No, it's not. Before we really get going, I'm going through Twitter, just see if there's anything major popping up. Not seeing much. Really not seeing much right now. Thank God. Today was one of those slow days. I think there's some news out there, but it actually, our politicians on both sides of the aisle decided to take a break from their craziness. And it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. And if those watching the feed, you're going to see me looking off to the side because I have one of my screens over there, and it's got Twitter, TV, and all that. It's the pace we have been at since the election has been a foot on the floor, full speed ahead. Nonstop. And it's burnt out a lot of people. And it's every time I see a poll online, Trump's approvals are up. The only time I see his approvals down are these left-wing media. That's when I see him down. What the heck? Now there's something popping up saying Donald Trump test fired a missile in South Korea. It's being reported out of the UK, even after being warned by China and Russia not to do it, has fired a barrage of ballistic missiles near North Korea. I don't have confirmation, and I'm not seeing any major agencies breaking that. So I'm not going to say what definitively that happened. keep an ear out and check it out. And if you see something on it, shoot me a tweet at Jersey Joe Talks. That's at Jersey Joe Talks. That's for all my social media. If you ever want to send me a message telling me to shut up, just go to that. I'll ignore it like I do my wife when she tells me to shut up. Trying to look around. I don't see anything major. All right, well, we go to break real quick. I'm going to take a look, see if I can confirm that report. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains. What the? Oh, boy. That's it. The producer's fired. I'm firing the producer. Damn it. Be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplains.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean.
Dude, I'm not saying Catholic, stupid.
Sackhead Clint.
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
Also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host. Hey, BZ. How's it going? Getting everything ready for your show, I take it? Oh, to help if I turn the camera back on. I got to get used to that again. I really have to get used to that. All right. Oh, let's see, where are we at? I totally lost my place. Could be worse. I could have lost my mind. Yeah, so far they are. I got to get into a rhythm of getting things done because it's different now, kind of like prepping the show when I prep it and all that. I got to get used to that. It was easy, at 10 o'clock all day I'd be checking, news and all that, bookmarking articles and everything to go over. About 10, 11 o'clock at night, I would write the show for the next day and then get up and do the show. So now what I'm having to do is I'm waiting until like an hour or two before the show starts because, well, since the time frame that the show starts, it might be something pop up that I want to talk about. So I just got to get that rhythm and get that schedule, going. Otherwise, I'm having fun with it so far. So BZ is going to be doing a special July 4th, July edition for the saloon tonight. One topic, 1 hour, with perhaps a tad bit of overtime if necessary. So stick around after the Reaver of Common Sense. Stick around for BZ and check out his July 4th special. Yeah, it's once I get used to it, it's going to take me probably a week just to sit down and write it. Today, I think I started a little too early, and I was sitting in front of the computer for like a half hour twiddling my thumbs. I was like, damn. All right, that's too soon. Yesterday, and I was like 10 minutes right before the show, I was finishing up. I was like, shit, that's a little too close to call. But get back on track here. It looks like the CNN hasn't learned shit from even the last week. They've got exposed left, right, and center of their corruption, the fake news that they have been spreading, knowing the shit is fake. So what do? They go and push more fake news designed to hurt President Trump with misinformation fed to viewers through its channel. This time on the morning of the 4th of July, CNN political analysis, Julian Zeller, whatever the hell the idiot's name is, also a historian at Princeton University, inaccurately claimed that President Trump never made an Article 5 commitment to American NATO allies. The startling and deeply inaccurate accusation came during a discussion about President Trump's upcoming meeting at the G20 summit, his forthcoming meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin, and tensions rising in North Carolina. Even an imbecile like me knows he has committed to Article 5. We just had it just recently where NATO came out and pushed other members to finally start paying their fair share and agreed that the United States should not be carrying the load. And that from the beginning, that is what Donald Trump has talked about with NATO. If they don't pay their fair share, we shouldn't be doing it and we will leave. If everybody's paying a fair share, fine, we will stay, we'll deal. NATO has its place. I think it's been kind of denutted over the last couple of years. But, I mean, Europe, the EU is now talking about creating its own army. Why? If they're going to do that, and they keep sitting there bashing us, well, if you don't like us, don't ask us for help. But to spread false information that CNN has been known for of late is outright disgusting. And I have seen him make the comments. He is in support of NATO. It all came down to financing. We were paying the majority of the cost within NATO. We pay the majority of the cost in the UN compared to other nations. And that's where he's talking about. I don't think he ever planned on leaving NATO. But as he's talked about several times, you can't make a threat that you're not willing to back up. And when you're negotiating and you turn around and you say, yeah, we're going to leave unless NATO members start paying their fair share. What do you do when they go, no, you'll keep paying it? You go, okay. No, you go, see ya. I'm out of here. Peace. ABC, you wouldn't want to be you. You know, he's willing to, and he can't go out there and go, well, I'm going to make this threat. I don't plan on going through with it, but I'm going to make the threat. No, what kind of idiot does that? Oh, that's right. Obama does. Here's the red line. You cross it, you die. Oh, you cross the line. You cross this red line, you die. You cross this red line. Jesus. They know this man means business. They know this man is not going to take any shit. Everybody in the world's known Donald Trump for decades. And he's been a person that he says what he means and means what he says. One of the things I liked about him as a candidate. I know he didn't talk nicely. For me, I'm from New Jersey. He's from New York. He spends a lot of time in New Jersey. It's all one. It don't faze me. All right, BZ. Drive safe, bro. BZ's getting ready to go down to the studio, the West Coast studio. To put out this information by CNN after getting caught multiple times putting out false news, fake news, outright lying. You can give it any title you want. They lied to the American people, and they knew it was a lie. This schmack job, and of course, Princeton University. Yeah, I know a lot about Princeton University. It was the next town over from where I grew up. Yeah, a bunch of. They got their heads in the cloud. The United States can't weaken its commitment to South Korea. Zelzer added that won't work. That won't help the situation. This has been a central ally in the effort to put pressure on North Korea. It's the same as our efforts to engage China. So this is a place where there could be actually considerable tension with Russia. Look, there's something very important Donald Trump has to do, actually, and it is to affirm his commitment to NATO, something he has not done. That is a big factor in creating an alliance and our ability to. And I got to stop right there. Where were all these people when Obama was tearing down the anti-missile grid in Europe? The same anti-missile grid that allowed Russia to go into Crimea with no effort. Where was all this, you're not helping out and be helpful, all that bullshit? It seems a little two-sided. I have seen multiple times, and unless she's got her head up her ass or blatantly lying, Trump has affirmed to NATO. As I said earlier, it came down to finances. When asked a follow-up by CNN's Whitfield, who did not correct Zelzer's inaccuracy, if that's something he thinks might be potentially happening on Trump's upcoming trip, Zelzer again peddled the fake news. And actually, here's funny. She's talking about South Korea and how we weaken the commitment. We're about to go to war with North Korea to protect South Korea. How much more commitment do you need? Right there. The woman's talking, whoever, Julian, taking a guess that it's a woman. Talking out of her ass. Their ass, I'll put it that way. Oh my God. It makes me want to bang my head against the wall. If I go from this. Oh, I know I should have had this up before. I didn't. I'm a bad person. All right, I think this is it. Let's see. Maybe not. God. Hang on, it's loading. I'm telling you, the internet's slow today. Come on. You can do it. Huh. See if it's here. Dang, I thought I was going to have it, and for some reason, it's not loading up. So, I just... They have been hit multiple times with this fake news. And it just, they won't back down from it. And what's funny is, let me see. This one is so easy to debunk. All one has to do is go look at CNN's own reporting from a June 9th report on its website from CNN political reporter Jeremy Herbert to see that the CNN analyst Zeller is lying on national TV. The headline of Herbert's early June report speaks for itself. Trump commits to NATO Article 5. I am committing the United States to Article 5. The CNN report quotes Trump as saying at a news conference with Romanian president in the Rose Garden at the White House. In fact, in the live broadcast on CNN contributor and political White House correspondent correctly noted that the president and administration did not feel the need to continue reaffirming Article 5 commitment to NATO allies because they feel like they've already done that in the Rose Garden speech and prior talks. What perhaps is even more troubling about Zeller's very fake news on behalf of CNN on Tuesday morning is that when Richard Grenell, a former U.S. spokesman at the United Nations, Trump supporter and Fox News contributor, called him out for pushing the inaccuracy, he doubled down on the falsehood. Grenell simply tweeted to Zeller's CNN's own reporting debunking his claim on the network, and Zeller refused to acknowledge he pushed very fake news on CNN. It just, and it's funny how they get caught in it and they fight tooth and nail saying they didn't push fake news, but then, as you could see, retractions are happening non-stop anymore. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplainsdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying calf this stupid, bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reverbcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless. All right. Starting to get things back to normal after I messed with everything for a while. So, all right, let's see how it's going. All right. Still messing with the volume levels and all that from this to this to this. It's going to be a little bit getting everything back up and running. Yeah, it's CNN hasn't learned. They have not learned their lesson. And if they haven't learned now, I don't know what is going to get it through their heads. I really don't. It's amazing. Twitter is going after conservatives still hard. Yeah, I never understood this. Someone just posted. It has nothing to do really with the show or politics. If I need to cancel my flight, the flight now wants to charge me. United wants to charge this man $1,300 to cancel his tickets. That's a bunch of bullshit because they're going to be able to sell that seat more than likely if that plane's that full. But at that point, now I did it one time. You're going to charge me how much to cancel my tickets? I think they wanted to charge me like $400 to cancel. My tickets cost me $350. I was like, guess what? I'm not showing up to the flight. There'll be no charge for that, will there? I mean, it's not like, okay, well, we're going to refund you, but then you're going to have to pay us. No. Screw that. These airlines are getting ridiculous. Ridiculous. Oh, boy. I know it's a little bit old news, but I just thought it was funny. You'll hear me talking about Tucker Carlson a lot. I love the man. I love his show. Did you see the one where he had that the racist black woman? I think it was from New Jersey. You white people. Well, she ended up getting fired from her job as a professor. Well, what's funny is she claimed that it was equal to a public lynching, but she said it was racist, and she was fired by a black panel. It was her peers, and they were black, and they fired her for being racist. And she was racist. It's uncalled for, some of the shit they say nowadays. And it's like they think they don't have anything to fear anymore. You know, they're brazen. They just come out with their crazy racist shit anymore. And their big response is, well, you're racist. Yeah, that's a great argument. Great argument. Going to jump ahead to an article I kind of had set up for last. The man who technically invented email is challenging Elizabeth Warren for her Senate seat. It's a beautiful, and he actually said it's going to take a real Indian to take down a fake Indian. And I think I love that line. And yes, he actually did come out and say that. Oh, that is going to, get the hiney hairs of a lot of snowflakes up in ours. Oh, my God. Don't you love it when you make fun of, like, your own nationality and they get pissed? Because they don't know which way to go. I mean, they don't know how to deal with it. So this guy was going back and forth, this Julian who claimed that Trump hasn't made an Article 5 commitment. And Richard Grinnell corrected him on Twitter, and they went back and forth. And this idiot, the POTUS has sent mixed messages, and there's a reason to question his commitment, reaffirming that a summit would be important. And the person said he never made the Article 5 commitment, and the person just admitted that he was wrong and went back down that he delivered fake news. And it just keeps going. They don't know him to back down. So the person, just got proved wrong, and liberals do all the time. So their big thing is, I see you're interested in diatribe, not dialogue. No, we're going off what you said. It was what you said is what that person responded to. And now that you won't back down from your own statement, you want to throw a little hissy fit and go on your merry little way. And Richard Grinnell went, I'm interested in correcting your erroneous comments on national TV. It's best to say I was wrong. Trump did make an Article 5 commitment. It was brought back up in the following statement. Grinnell said the responsible thing for CNN to do, if it believes its journalistic integrity, would be to have Julian retract the false statement. Everyone makes some mistakes, but when there is an unequivocal and yet completely erroneous statement made on national TV, the ideas and responsibility of journalism requires a correction. And that's the thing. People make mistakes all the time. I've done it. Everybody's made mistakes. But it's happening on a nonstop basis. They're pushing statements that have already been proven wrong, and they keep going with it. Those aren't mistakes. Those are deliberate lies that they push. Most of this Trump bullshit with Russia has been debunked, proven wrong, and they keep pushing it. That's the problem. That's not a mistake. You keep doing it over and over again. It's not a mistake anymore. God, even a dumbass like me understands that. Oh, this is an example. Very fake news caps off the latest development in the worst journalistic scandal in CNN's network history. And I'm pretty sure this isn't going to be the last incident that pops up. And which started with the retraction of a false hit piece on President Trump and his associates, then led to the resignation of 3 top CNN editorial officials, including the head of CNN's investigation unit. Undercover video from James O'Keefe, Project Veritas of CNN producers and on-air talents have thrown more gasoline on the fire. CNN continues to refuse to be transparent about this matter, as its public affairs team and network president, Jeff Zucker, refused to answer questions on the scandal. This comes despite effort by even some high-ranking editorial staff and talent internally to force the network to deal with the scandal more responsibly and ethically, something that is not, as of yet, transpiring. And it needs to be done. If CNN has any hopes of regaining any trust, it's got to do some major changes. Listen, during the Obama years, I did not like the reporting I saw. I thought they were very one-sided. They loved to cover up Obama's mistakes. They loved to ignore issues and not even touch on them. That was one thing. But here comes President Trump, and at that time, candidate Trump. And they went out of their way to spread false accusations against this man. They went out of their way. I didn't trust them before, and they instead of saying, you know what, Our ratings are down. Things aren't doing good. Let's try to clean things up, go back to the middle. I'm not asking them to be right-leaning. I don't want them to be right-leaning. I don't want Fox to be right-leaning. I don't want any leaning in my news. I want down the middle. But we're not going to get that. And that's the problem. CNN's going to keep going down its path until it is in ruins or until somebody steps in, whether government or AT&T with the buyout. Something's got to go on. Something. Because when you're getting beat by MSNBC, that says something. That says something big. Oh, and I love how they complain that Trump's firing back at them for 8 years. And I know we're not supposed to do this because liberals really hate it. They hate this. 8 years, Obama attacked conservative media, whether it was Fox News and what did they call it? Fake news, Fox News, FAUX. That's what they called Fox News. The liberals, they attacked Fox News nonstop. Nonstop they attacked. But we didn't hear how that was inciting violence. Obama went after him. Obama went after conservative radio shows and networks such as SHR Media and High Plains Pundit. Went after us. Nonstop. Wanted us shut down. Wanted to stifle free speech. Well, we could see why. They didn't like that we were putting out the facts. And it seems like the left is like, okay, well, they did this, so we're going to do something similar, and we're going to ramp it up a billion times. It's like, damn, man. CNN used to be trustworthy. Something was going on. I turned it on CNN. Even a couple years ago, before I really started getting into this, I'd be bullshit with a friend of mine. And he's like, I go to CNN. They got such neutral articles. And all of a sudden, as time went on, he went, holy shit, they've been taking a left turn. And they have. And what's funny is they saw Fox make a right-hand turn and being successful. MSNBC took this hard left turn and went down the toilet. And CNN sitting there going, I don't know. What do you think we should do? Let's get a study going. We're going to hire that liberal company there. Yeah, they seem pretty honest. They'll tell us the truth of what's going on. We're wondering which way our news agency should go. Should we stay in the middle? Should we go right? Should we go left? Well, you see, even though the ratings are showing MSNBC is going downhill and Fox is going up, we have a study here that says that liberalism is on the rise. So you need to make a hard left right along with MSNBC. Right off the cliff they go. I would have much rather them went, you know what? We're going to stay right here in the middle. CNN talks about Russia a lot. It seems they know a lot about Russia because they seem to be trying to be this deep state media mouthpiece, propaganda machine. That's what they are. They're not reporting news anymore. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplains.dailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying capitalist to me, bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking, drinking, drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I am your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless. Ah, the bang is still here. Just checking a couple things out. Oh, all right. That doesn't seem to be working. If you want to watch a live broadcast, you can go a couple ways. You can go to YouTube and Google SHR Media and pull up their YouTube page. Or you can go to Reaver.one and click on the SHR TV, and it'll pull up the live stream of today's show. And it's set up that if you go there any given day, there'll always be something up and running, something special for you. There's no live show going. Ooh, lots of bings and bells going on here. All right, where are we? I'm getting alien messages from my computer. Getting some groaning from it. On me. The Hill's Jonathan Easley reports that Breitbart's fact-checking of fake news from establishment journalists has led to a series of corrections and retractions, and the high-profile nature of the errors hurt the media's credibility at a time when the press is under more scrutiny than ever before. That's a nice little kudos, but the problem is, after a while, that high praise goes to people's heads after a while, companies' heads. I mean, The Guardian had some great stories in its time, and it seems it went to their head. Well, you see where they are. So all I got to say is, Breitbart, just keep your ego in check, please. Just keep it in check. From The Hill, a string of high-profile corrections and retractions by major news organizations on stories about President Trump or his allies have fueled more allegation of bias in the mainstream press. Surprise, surprise. Everybody has seen it. Anybody who's willing to look at it honestly can see that there's been a bias. I mean, it's not a secret here, people. It's not difficult to look at and see that there's been a bias, but I know some. Nope. We don't know what you're talking about. My mama told me to get some for dinner. Relationship between Trump and the news media regularly hits new lows, with insults flying between the two camps and reporters warning that the president is inciting violence against journalists. Oh my God. Oh. But Trump's allies on the right believe the president's claims that the mainstream media's fake news have been bolstered by recent missteps. Here's the funny thing. This whole idea of inciting violence. This is not the first time they've tried that line. They only have a couple lines they can use, the left does. They used this one a couple months ago when Trump was going out real bad. And he's inciting violence against us. It didn't work. So, they'll try a couple other lines and right back to this one. And it's not working again. And I love how these stories have come out showing the absolute bias and lies that CNN has been pushing. Oh, that was taken out of context. No. I mean, the CNN wrestling video Trump reposted. That's just funny. Oh, no, he's insinuating he wants to incite violence. What? Why can't Trump go out and go, I misspoke on it the way it came out? No. It's one side. It's taken out of context. I think the left is right now, for the purpose of this conversation. When I say the left, I'm talking to the mainstream media on the left. There's a death knell coming about them, and they're letting that last breath out. They're making that last ditch fight, but they're going down. They're going down faster than a 5-cent hooker. And I'll probably get some hate mail on that. All hate mail goes to crash@reaver.1. Hey, BZ. Just remember that all hate mail goes to Crash. Crash hasn't been here in a while. He will be. He's had some his personal life's taken a little turn for the rough in his household. So some things good, some things bad. So he'll be around. He'll call up. But yeah, the mainstream media on the left is going down faster than a 5-cent hooker. And that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing at all. It's wiping down the counters, are you busy at the saloon? Getting the chairs all lined up, sweeping up. Make sure you pick up any broken glass from the last bar fight. Ugh. It's... You would think by now you would see mainstream media trying to step up and knowing that they have a major issue. You know, anybody with a reasonable conscience would say, all right, we're in trouble. We're in trouble financially. I mean, New York Times, Washington Post, Time Magazine, they're all financially in trouble. Why? Because they've been outright lying to the people. The people don't want to pay for that crap. They come up with their own reason. ESPN has the same bullshit lines going on. Their membership has been dropping faster than a Titanic on an ice cold night. And it's because of their left-leaning liberalism. When I turn on sports, I want to watch sports. I don't want some social justice warrior preaching to me about politics. I want to know how Claude Giroux is going to do this year. What kind of team is Ron Hextall putting together? Do they have a chance for the playoffs? I don't care about who's gay, who's not. I don't care that any of these goddamn sports player transsexual and like to dress up as Furbies and smack each other in the head with wiffle ball bats. I don't care. What I want to know is how they're doing within their sports. What they do in their personal life is their own goddamn business. I bet if they're murdering people or anything like that, that's a little bit different. But this pushing all these social justice stuff onto us is really annoying. And it's turned us off. And you would think sooner or later, one of them, I mean, how many studies have been done for ESPN and said the left-leaning liberalism is what's destroying the company? And they went, no, that site doesn't know what they're talking about. Hey, yeah, you do polls, don't you? Yeah, this is what we want the poll to say. Will you do it for us? Oh, okay. Yeah, great. We'll pay an exorbitant amount of money to get the results we want. See, this one poll compared to these 20 polls says that it has nothing to do with politics. See, we told you. The independent polls showed that people were tired, and they are tired of the political leaning. They go and hire someone and go, well, hey, right here. Hey, our study says, the study that was commissioned says, okay, do me a favor, take that hand and extend it out in front of your face, hold it slightly to the side. Now slap yourself upside the head with your own hand. You would think these people are supposed to be smarter than the rest of us because they have all this college education. You have all this college education and books that tell you what to do, and not a book has went, psst, dumbass, stop your liberal leaning, report the news, and your business will do better. Psst, ESPN, report sports, and your business will do better. You know, it seems very common sense to me. And hell, I don't have a college degree. And they try to tell me how they're much better than me and all that. Yeah. I got something that they'll never have. It's called common sense. And for those new to the show, Reaver of Common Sense. How I came up with that. Reavers in old mythology. Now, it's funny. I get so many of these college-educated dumbasses coming at me. Oh, what is this? What is this? A ripoff of a Firefly? No. Oh, you're ripping off a game, aren't you? No. you have in college education. Yeah. All right. What are reavers? Oh, they're those things on Firefly. No. In old Greek and Roman mythology, reavers were the bringer of death. Death of common sense. And I thought it'd be too obvious by calling the show Death of Common Sense, hosted by Jersey Joe. So, Reaver of Common Sense. It has a nice ring to it and has a meaning behind it. And it's these college educated idiots. And I've even had them on the right that stick their nose up at everybody else, especially during the campaign of Donald Trump. Oh, you want educated people. Oh, we know better than you. Oh. I guess not. And that's the thing that pisses people off. And that's what pisses people off about conservatives a lot of times. They walk around, and it is both sides. Listen, college education has its place, and it's a great thing. But it depends on whether you listen and learn, take that material, and use it, as opposed to taking that material and it overtaking your life. Now, I'll give an example of that in a minute. But just because you have a piece of paper does not mean you're smarter than everybody else. Because this is the way I look at it. And my best friend, Crash, he's got 2 college degrees, 2 bachelor's degrees. I didn't have to pay for my education. I got paid to get my education. And there's nothing wrong with college degrees. It's how much stock you put into it. Because right now we have way too many people with college degrees. We flooded the market. Not everybody is suited to a college degree. And we've been jamming that down everybody's throat for so long. Now we have these big holes in markets. I mean, hell, being a welder nowadays is like $100 and some an hour. Jesus Christ, I wish I knew about that back when I was in high school. Well, I tried to become a welder. My dad said no, because he was a welder. You know, a lot of times fathers don't want their sons to do same hardworking jobs that they did. Yeah, so I got an EMS and fire instead. But there's jobs out there, trade schools. But everybody anymore looks down their nose. Oh, trade school? I'm better than that. You know, I love my brother-in-law, lawyer, successful lawyer, very successful, proud of him. And it was funny, got married, moved out west to California, bought a house. And what he started to do is the molding and everything in his house was this real old school handmade molding. And he wanted to keep reproducing that through his house. He didn't want to have to replace it all. So he started learning how to make them. And we all went for vacation to the in-laws, his parents. And he's like, you know, Joe, I finally realized what's so fun about it. He's like, I'm sitting there with these tools. He goes, I do it old school. I don't get the new molding stuff. I do old school. You have the different shapes and you got to put them all together to make the molding for the woodworking. And I'm like, yeah, it's fun. It's gratifying. He's like, yeah, that's the thing. He goes, seeing that piece of wood and then doing all that work and having it come out to exactly what I imagine it would be is so rewarding to me. He goes, I never thought working with my hands would be so rewarding. And it stuck out of me because everybody tells everybody, oh, you have to go to college. College isn't all the way to go. And my father-in-law even asked me, why didn't you go to college? I'm an EMT firefighter. Back then, there was no goddamn degree. There was no made-up bullshit degree for it. Now they have it. They made up so the colleges can make more money. We've overloaded. And what I also talk about is you have to take that knowledge and use it and shape it. Don't let it shape you. Because in EMS, I'd get the people, especially down here in Florida, they love to do it. The book says, are you treating a book or are you treating a human being? The book is written basically on, if it's about a male, it's like a 21-year-old male, 6 foot, it's like 180 pounds, and perfect health. Chances of you running into that in the field are, well, Yeah, very low. And the female, basically similar stats, but more height weight proportion for a woman. You're not going to run into that. Majority of your calls are going to be the elderly with 30,000 prescriptions that you have to go through. You know, medical history a mile long. But the book says the book doesn't cover this. You need to learn to adapt, take that information, assimilate it into real life, and then go from there. And I can't understand how these supposed highly educated people that are CEOs that are running these news agencies can't see that and adapt and learn to overcome. Now, they're too busy trying to push their thoughts on everybody than just reporting what's going on like they're supposed to. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio. We will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplains.dailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying capitalist, stupid bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, 'cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the Reaver of Common Sense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless. Oh, I'm getting old. I'm tired already. Tired. God, I'm getting old. It's only 10:30. Well, 10:26. Boom. Oh, what was that? There used to be commercials. It'll be 10:36 at the beep. Beep. Sponsored by. I used to have them up in my area all the time, like banks would do it. Sponsored by. We're going to rip you off, bank. The time will be. You lost all your money. So now they're starting to think there's a Trump fatigue going on. And I think you're going to start seeing that pop up a little bit more. But they're not going to call it Trump fatigue. You know, they'll come up with, well, we're getting, you know, it's old news. So we're going to stop reporting on it until he decides to grow up. Or some other bullshit excuse that they'll use. So what we'll see is like it's South Park. They're going to avoid jokes about the president next season. Trey Parker says the upcoming season of his hit comedy series South Park won't be telling the same boring President Trump jokes that other shows tend to. In an interview with Los Angeles Times, Parker laments falling into the Trump joke trap in season 20 and explains why South Park's 21st season will avoid lambasting the president. It's just gotten boring, Parker told the outlet. We weren't ever really that show. We would do an entire season, and there would be one moment that played off something that had just happened, and people would go, South Park is the show that does that. And that's just not true. We're not. Of course, the highly anticipated 20th season of the long-running Comedy Central show started last fall with an episode that revolved around presidential candidate Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, who were branded turd sandwich and giant douche, respectively. The unusual linear and a contemporary storyline also heavily featured Mr. Garson as a thinly veiled Trump-like character running to become president of the United States. Ultimately, last season's Trump-heavy political plot line was unfortunately trap Parker seems to regret falling into. We fell into the same trap that Saturday Night Live fell into, where it was like, dude, we're just becoming CNN now, and we're becoming tune in to see what we're going to say about Trump. Matt Stone and I hated it, but we got stuck in it somehow, Parker explained. And that's exactly what it seems to be for CNN. What is CNN going to say about Trump today? What exaggerated statement are they going to make about President Trump today? That's all it's coming down to. Now, he put out there, we probably could put a billboard saying, look, we're going to do a Trump next week and get crazy ratings. But I just don't care. Giving some insight into what loyal fans can expect to see next season, Parker said, this season, we want to go back to Cartman dressing up like a robot and screwing with Butters because, to me, that's the bread and butter of South Park. Kids being kids and being ridiculous, outrageous, but not did you see what Trump did last night? Because I don't give a shit anymore. Personally, Parker says President Trump is not intentionally funny, but he's intentionally using comic art to propel himself. The thing that we do, being outrageous and taking things to the extreme to get a reaction out of the people, he's using those tools, Parker said of the president. At his rally, he gets people laughing and whooping, and I don't think he's good at it, but he obviously sells. It made him president. Well, the other thing he's doing, and there's several people standing up going, guys, stop. CNN, stop. Chill. Relax. Stop. He's trolling you. He's purposely leading you where he wants you to go to get the reaction he wants. There is an agenda he has been pushing behind the scenes that he has been getting through. Do you see the liberals talking about it? No. So if they're not talking about it, how are they fighting against part of his agenda that he's pushing through? Before they know it, they're going to have very, very low ratings, and they're going to be going, holy shit, Trump's successful. The economy is doing great. This is doing, oh my, how did that happen? When did that happen? It's all going to happen in the background. And Trump has been playing them since day one of the campaign. He's been playing them. He's been playing them. I've said it on my show plenty of times. And now you're getting some top Republicans. Hey, guys, you're getting played. You're getting played. And then they're still trying to. Hillary tried it. And one of the reasons I like Trump, I knew Trump could beat Hillary Clinton. And here's why. Democrats have the playbook on how to beat a Republican. Throw out negative accusation. False accusation. Just make it. The Republican will spend the rest of the campaign season chasing that negative, trying to disprove that negative, while you sit back and talk what you're going to do for the country. Talk about your policy. And the whole time, your opponent, the Republican, is chasing that negative. That can't be disproven. He's going to be sitting there chasing that day in and day out. I am not a womanizer. I am not sexist. I am not a racist. No proof. Just make the accusation. Thanks. It's well, what happened is with Trump, did come out, you're a racist. No, I'm not. Next question. He didn't fall into the trap. He answered it and moved on. He did not allow it to consume his campaign. And that's what kept him in that game. And that's what helps him now. He controls the media. He controls them. He puts out these tweets and they totally freak out. They got like 24 hours watch. They got like people, mainlining coffee, just staring at a monitor. Okay. Refresh it. See if Trump said anything. Go ahead, refresh it again. Refresh it again. Oh, he said something. All right. Come on, guys. Get around. All right, let's see. Oh, my God. It's going to be the death to the world. He said, good morning. Yeah, it's going to be the death to the world. We tell everybody he's being a racist, sexist, misogynistic asshole. He's being condescending by saying good morning to everybody. It's the end of the world. The sky's going to fall. Economy is going to collapse. Cats and dogs are going to get along. I mean, that's how they are. And that's how they've been since day one of the election. Since he's won that election, everything is the end of the world. It's the end of America as we know it. Our democracy is under attack. Our Constitution is under attack. They're taking what the Republicans did against Obama and magnifying it times a million. Because this is what you did to Obama. We have a right to do it right back at you. Difference is, we actually had a president that wasn't paying attention to the Constitution. He was, 0-8 against Supreme Court on his rulings, on his EOs, as being unconstitutional. Oh, sorry, he did win one on Obamacare. He lost massive amounts in the Supreme Court on constitutionality. Trump so far is 1-0. Well, hasn't been decided, but I can kind of read the writing on the wall the way it's going. I mean, it's 9-0 that lifted the ban. Well, the ban on the restrictions. And part of the liberals' problem, part of the problem is they spread themselves too thin anymore. They like to stick their hands in every single bit of social justice there is. The gay argument, LGBTQ, PD, YZ, TXUV. And since it's new to the nighttime and a new audience, I have no problem with what your sexual orientation is. I really couldn't give a shit. But I'm going to make fun of that name, the LGBTQ, the fucking alphabet soup of names. Guys, got to get a better name. Got to get a better name. They get into the racial, the religious, they are just all over the place. And they don't have the manpower to do it. They don't. And what's nice is, and I knew it was going to fail from day one. Underneath the Obama administration, they went after the Washington Redskins again. See, I remember, and it was when I was young. It was in the 80s. I think in the 80s. They went after the Washington Redskins. And it went to court and all that they had to change their names, that it was racist. And the courts went, no, it isn't. And I knew when Harry Reid did it again, I mean, it was just a deflection. I forget what popped up negative for Obama and all of a sudden this. Well, they had started lawsuits. They removed trademarks. Well, the Supreme Court has ruled that they cannot remove the trademark. And now it's been announced that the Department of Justice drops effort to force Washington Redskins to change team name. Listen, you're going to go down that route. I mean, what team isn't going to have to change its name? I mean, we're just going to have teams like the Philadelphia A's and the Washington B's. Because we can't have the New York Giants because, well, that is offensive to short people. You can't have the New England Patriots because, well, the left, they think Patriots are terrorists. You can't have the Dallas Cowboys because it's the Cowboys fought the Indians, and that's just racist. And then the list goes on and on. The Washington Black Sox or Chicago Black Sox, White Sox, whatever. Red Sox, White Sox. Shows you how much I know baseball. I know there used to be a Black Sox. You're going to go along, and every team is going to be some kind of racist, sexist, offensive team name. How about this? If you're offended, don't watch it. If you're offended, don't listen. And it really makes me laugh because it goes back to Howard Stern. And I forget the exact time frame. And it was something like his listeners, the people that like Donald Trump, listened for like 15 minutes at a shot. May have been a little bit longer. I'm not sure, but the point's going to come across. Those who didn't like him listened for like 2.5 hours. And the same answer was given by those that liked him and didn't like him. And one person, well, why, if they don't like him, why are they listening so much? To see what he'll say next. And that's the way it is with Trump. They're like glued onto Trump to see what he'll say next. They actually want to denut Trump. Stop giving him attention. Ignore him so much. Back off. That'll drive him nuts more than anything. Oh my God. But I'm glad to see that they're giving up this. Don't ask me how I just went on that little tirade from Washington Redskins. My left-hand turns turn into U-turns, then roundabouts. That's right. We're talking about offensive names. Just turn it off. If you don't like the Washington Redskins, don't go to their games. You want to destroy a company? Take away their money. Stop going to their games. Stop going to their away games. Stop watching their football games on TV. They'll get the gist of it. Well, most of them will. The liberals will. Oh, it's something else. We're not winning enough. You're listening to the Reaver of Common Sense right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, and we will be right back.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Breaking news. According to the latest report coming out of SHR Media, a merchandise store to support both the Reaver of Common Sense and SHR Media has just been unleashed to the general public. Be forewarned that this site can be contagious and numerous items can be purchased to support the best news programming. Go to Reaver.one website and click on the store link to check out the merchandise.
You have been listening to Reaver of Common Sense, hosted by my dad, Jersey Joe. Beware, the Jersey Takeover is here. Every Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch the Reaver of Common Sense show, hosted by Jersey Joe, right here on shrmedia.com and highplansdailynews.com. Only Jersey can deliver hell like no one else, so consider this your fair warning.
In a world controlled by corrupt politicians,
You got a business. That you didn't build that.
a team of ordinary men emerge from the ashes to give voice to the voiceless and hope to the hopeless. Sackhead Sean,
Dude, I'm not saying Catholic, stupid bro.
Sackhead Clint,
All good friends of ours usually show up drunk.
also starring Sacco as the producer.
I'm a little bit drunk, cause I'm drinking.
They are the Sackheads Radio Show. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on shrmedia.com.
Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can catch the Southside Mutt Show with its hosts, the Jersey Boys, Jersey Joe and Crash, right here on SHR Media and High Plains Pundit Radio, where we will be digging up the dirt.
Times are dark. The people misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation in confusion needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, High Plains Talk Radio, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guide. Because truth is not always pleasant.
If you miss a show, don't worry. You can catch the replays two ways, rebootingliberty.com or the reaverofcommonsense.com. While you're there on Reaver of Common Sense, don't forget, drop in your email and keep up to date with everything going on, or click the like button on the Facebook widget. Now on to the Reaver of Common Sense.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
This show contains language that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised. And now on to the show. And welcome back to the Reaver of Common Sense. I'm your host, Jersey Joe, and I'm trying to make sense out of the senseless. I'm so happy to be here. I'm just so happy. I like this time slot. It's getting more and more. I'm liking it. It's only been 2 nights, but I'm more a night person. I always have been. I've worked at EMS nights for God knows how long. I am not a morning person, so it's great to be on the nights. I'm going to be opening up for, well, like tonight I'm opening up for BZ. Tomorrow night I'll be opening up for there's that little show. It's Sackhead's Radio, is it? I think it's Sackhead's Radio. It has some little known Sackhead Sean, Sackhead Clinton, BZ on it. You know, it's going to be a joy. I'm going to love it. It seems, I think we're going to get, it's going to help too because it's more same mouthy people, but it's going to be a nice flow. So, next piece I'm going to do is, and we're having it here in my county too. And I wrote a letter up and I actually sent it to my local representatives. I sent it to the news agencies in the area that are running all these goddamn pieces. But there's a drive to remove all these Confederate symbols. And it's spurring a backlash, and it should spur a backlash. But I'm going a different route. I'm going a different route because I saw that we need to remove these symbols because no one wants to be reminded of the days of slavery and all the evil that we have seen. Okay. Then why do we allow the party of slavery to still exist? They don't give me, well, they switch parties and this bullshit. They're still around. It still reminds me of the days of slavery, the party that stood up for slavery. Yeah, they want to eliminate history so it does not fall back on them anymore. And that's what it is. They're trying to hide the history that they were the party of the KKK. They were the party of slavery. So they have to remove that so it can't be thrown back in their face. So generations to come do not learn about it. Well, I wrote, and if they continue this, I want to see that the Democrat Party is removed from the political atmosphere. To quote, to the duly elected board of Hillsborough County, Florida, my name is Joseph Anchbush Jr., and I am a resident of Hillsborough County. Today I'm writing to you to voice my concern over why I feel is a very important issue. I am sickened and offended that in today's atmosphere, we allow a party that stood up and fought to keep slavery alive in our country to continue to represent the people. As we tear down inanimate objects that a small group of people believe reminds them of slavery and a troubled time in our history, then we must also remove the party that defended slavery and fought against the Civil Rights Act. So I'm asking the board to remove the anti-civil rights political party that not only represented slavery, but fought and died for those values. We must tell our future generations that we did not sit back and ignore the fact many Democrats were involved in the political process after denying so many people their freedoms. We cannot ignore the Democrat Party's racist history. I am not alone in feeling offended that the Democrat Party are still allowed to be involved in our electoral process. I ask that you remove their ability to run for any office, as it reminds us of the Democrat Party racist past. And this is not a political, because I'm a Republican. No. Because they want to remove inanimate objects to cover their past. Oh, they're never going to be able to cover up they were the party of slavery. Republicans started with a bunch of abolitionists. Did I use that word right? Now you got me thinking. They wanted to abolish slavery. And that's why the Republican Party was created. And I love how they have to try to rewrite history. I'm 45 years old. I love history. Never in my life have I heard the derogatory comments that I've heard about Lincoln, that he was a racist, he hated blacks, he was a warmonger, he was an anti-constitutionalist. Never in my life did I hear it until the last 6 years. They have to rewrite history. I even heard one time, no. You see, Lincoln wasn't a Republican. Lincoln was a Democrat. I actually had someone tell me that, and I was totally floored by it, because he's the first Republican to be elected president and then was killed by a Democrat. I'm sick of sitting back, and I'm not the only one. The one thing with these Trump conservatives is they're not the sit back type of the establishment party. These people, they have no problem going out and protesting too. They have no problem using some of the techniques used by the left. They have no problem with it. They're going to go out. And I know some of the established, oh, God, no, that's not the way we do it. No, that's the way you've lost, by sitting back. And proverbially, that's the way you go out and fight. You go out, you do your protest right back. You don't let them go out there with big numbers. You go out there and you show even bigger numbers. And this is not to go out there to be violent or intimidate. But if the only voice we hear is the left, if the only numbers we see are from the left, you have many people think that's the majority, and then they pipe down and be quiet. I watched it with myself and my family before I really started getting involved. We thought we were on this fringe part of society, that we were off by ourselves feeling the way we did about Obama. And the more I got involved in this type of stuff, the more I realized, no, we're not the minority. We're not some fringe group off to the side. We are a large group. The problem is, we're so worried about looking prim and proper, we weren't showing our numbers. And it's something I try to get through my wife's head. She's like, it don't matter what I say. Yeah, it does. Because if there's the only voice, there's the voice that everybody's going to listen to. If there's only one voice in the room, that's the voice everybody listens to. And we need to be speaking up just as loud. And I'm not saying we go to the same route of violence. But as I talked about yesterday, the left's pushing it. It's so close. It scares me. For the G20 summit, Antifa just got, I guess, a little sting done and captured a massive weapons cache that they were bringing to the G20 summit over in Europe. It's starting to seem like to me, more and more, that Antifa is an international terrorist organization. I never did look it up to see if that quote was real. Winston Churchill, the next group of fascists will come saying they're anti-fascists. One of these days I'll get off my butt and go look that up. We can't be tearing down history to suit this group so that they can hide their past. Because they've tried everything from, well, we switched parties. Yeah, how many of the Republicans went to the Democrat? How many of the Democrats went to the Republicans? How many of them actually stayed? And then the big question I always ask, why would a party spend 100 years pushing civil rights, finally get it passed to go, yep, we're racist now. Let's screw over the blacks. We just got them civil rights, but let's screw them over. And that's always shuts them up right there. Because they can't answer that question. And what's funny is how they came up with that whole they switched parties and the Republicans were racist. One person on the Republican Party stood up and said this should not be an amendment. It should be a state-by-state issue. Not that he was against the issue. He just thought it was the states should decide. But they never talk about the Democrats filibustering year after year after year after year, 1955. You know, in the 60s, 59, 64. They just kept filibustering the Civil Rights Act. But that one's kept quiet. It's funny how they pick and choose what they're going to talk about. Oh, well, it is getting close to the end of the show. I want to wish everybody happy 4th of July. Ours is starting to end here on the right coast and the left coast. I think the festivities are probably just starting to get underway. And I know BZ is heading toward the door, turning on all the lights, getting ready to open the door. Just a couple more minutes away. I'll be back tomorrow. Same time. 9 p.m. I'm so happy 9 p.m. I am a night person. As I said earlier, I just got to get used to that whole down. I'm a very routine person. I'm trying to bring one last thing up real quick. Look at something. But coming up next, you have BZ's Berserker Bobcat Saloon. Stick around. Pull up a chair. Have a drink. And have a listen. Until tomorrow, have a great day. You've been listening to the Reaver of Common Sense with its host, Jersey Joe. You can tune in every day, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on hbpundit.com and shrmedia.com.